What is going on, everybody? Jumbo Thick here, back with more Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. This is our Rise of the Forsaken campaign, our 4th edition endeavor into Warhammer Fantasy. I, of course, am Jumbo Thick. I will be your GM, your DM of the night. And I am joined by our adorable cast and crew of the Unfortunate Fellowship. Mr. Jumbo Smooth, Mr. Doobie209, and Pierce Galactic. If you care to introduce yourself, boys.
Hello everyone, I am Jumbo Smooth. I'll be playing the role of Marius Wolf this evening. I'm just a miner, a family man, trying to get back to his daughter who doesn't call him father, just calls him Marius.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait for that warm welcome when I get back.
Oh yes.
Gone another 6 years. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Terrible.
What's going on, everybody? Doobie209. As you all know, I play Seamus McCready, the 6'1" young strapping lad of the party. And I just want to thank everybody for all the comments on the last video. I know there was quite a blockbuster move that happened there with One the Mighty.
Oh,
down to the ground.
How the mighty fall. How they fall. Mr. Galactic.
What's up, everybody? This is Pierce Galactic. I play a dashing, intelligent, extremely skilled with the blade, immensely tall 5'3", Bretonian noble.
Yes.
A rider of some moderate skill, and all around ravishing rake.
Yes. All so very true. Well, after that introduction, went over very well. Let's do a brief recap on last we left off. The Unfortunate Fellowship have made their way to Carrickzorn and are on their way back, utilizing the tunnel of the Old Ones. This one apparently has fallen to the blood god, Khorne, as you have been slaying and tearing through his followers left and right. After you had defeated Crom, as well as were assaulted by a demon of some kind in Malefax, who almost roasted Seamus alive. More than once, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So, you have made your way through the tunnel. You have been cleaving through waves and waves of enemies. The first waves of cultists, the second of various beastmen, including a minotaur, which you dealt with rather easily. And then the final wave, a amalgamation of some extreme fanatics and a herald of Khorne, a true chosen of the blood god. Due to a few bad rolls, Mr. Benoit fell to the influence, the blood frenzy of Khorne in the presence of this being. As well, in the same, actually in the same round, Seamus McCready also gave in to the Wraith, the deathly essence that courses through his blade that has overtaken him, and he lost most of his own will. Marius Wolf, the only one who managed to keep his wits about him, attempted to subdue Mr. Benoit and was cut down and left in the blood. Left there, bleeding, dying almost, as the two charged forward and easily carved a path through the cultist to the Herald. The Herald could not lay a single strike on either of you. Not once did he hit you, though it took you some time to finally take him down, and it seemed almost towards the end that he was welcoming death's embrace. And were you of your right mind, you might have had second thoughts, but you were not. And though Seamus got one of the last hits, he could not pierce the hard exterior of this demon. But Bragadine the Brave, Beno, managed to slay the creature.
Bragadine the Beast.
Bragadine the Beast, and in this moment, the Beast, exactly. Cleaved through its neck, though it is about 2 feet taller than him. But he just barely reached up there and cleaved through its throat. And as he did, a massive explosion engulfed our two fellow members of the Fellowship. And a white-hot blast, and Marius had the shield as ice. And that's pretty much where we left off. Anything important I left out that you guys can remember?
Not that I can think of.
Silence.
I think the Lady of the Lake had actually appeared and blessed us, especially me, back to full wounds.
He did?
Right before this happened.
I don't
if
feel
you
like
go back
that.
and listen,
Yeah. Okay.
I can wait if you want to stop and listen to it.
Yeah, we're gonna just go with no on that one.
Okay.
And let's move forward. So we are picking up in the exact moment. Marius, you are shielding your eyes, covering them from the blast that you were not expecting, the detonation of this demon. And it is a massive detonation. As it happens, a wave of the blood that has been pooling towards your feet just explodes outwards and just cakes you in fresh gore. Meanwhile,
good.
Almost the opposite happens to Seamus and Bragadine, as your flesh is seared in white-hot heat, and you hear almost a chuckle, a bellowing laugh, as the herald just lets loose, as it becomes just this wave of heat and fury. Let's see. I need both of you guys to make me dodge rolls, please.
Ooh. Well, that's going to be bad for me no matter what.
Probably going to be bad.
All right, that's going to be, I think, possibly terrible for me. Any way we can use our momentum to help with this?
The momentum is gone as soon as you get hit with this. No momentum.
All right.
So, with my minus 20 to my roll, I rolled a 39 out of 7.
Okay. So, yes, I figured it would be almost impossible. That's fair. And Bragadine?
All right. I know I've got a negative 10 for the shoulder.
You do.
What about the bruised ribs or the fatigue condition?
You have a fatigue. I believe you have one fatigue already.
Okay.
And then you have the dodge would actually affect your legs, but you have a
torn
minus
muscle.
10. You have a torn muscle for your leg as well, so you're at a minus 20 for this roll.
Okay, so I got to get hit 13.
All right,
that's a 44 critical fail.
that's a critical fail. Got it.
Yeah, we're starting it right, bro. We're
Starting it right. Are you okay? All right. Do you want to re-roll it?
Yeah, I usually like to burn a fortune point. No, actually,
Okay.
no, I'm not going to hit 13.
Well, do you want to keep the critical fail? Is what I'm asking.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. I love it when the GM hints twice.
Okay.
All right, so it's a 56, so it's
Okay.
not a crit fail.
It's a fail.
Okay.
It's not a critical fail though.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
4 levels of failure.
Okay. Marius, I want you to do the honors. I need you to roll me a D10, please. Please roll high.
Oh, gee. Oh, now I'm nervous. Oh, it's a 9.
Yes.
Shit.
Oh, man.
So the two
Oh,
of
no,
you.
I'm sorry. It's a 6. I was looking at the
Damn
wrong
it!
one. It's a 6.
It's still going to be a lot. The two of you take 18 wounds immediately.
Bypass toughness?
It does not bypass
Can you repeat
toughness.
that? It sounded like you said 18.
18 wounds as your flesh is peeled back and you are launched from this. It was a massive detonation. There's a ton of heat. You are both thrown away. I'm going to say, let's see here. Let me roll that real quick.
All right. I got a game, a mechanics question, actually. When you get a moment.
Yes.
Okay, so if we're playing 5e, if you take damage equal to your hit points below, you're dead.
No, that doesn't matter
I
in
just
this.
took more damage than my possible wound. I was at 1 wound, so I'm like I don't know if there's a mechanic in Warhammer.
No,
Fantasy
it drops
Roleplay,
you to 0, and we're going to be rolling a critical wound on you here in a second.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you.
All right. So, Seamus, does that drop you past zero?
Yes. Technically, it puts me at -2.
Okay.
I'm
So we will be rolling a critical wound
-16.
for you as well.
Can you use your toughness? 'Cause I thought Seamus was at full health.
You can use your toughness.
Oh, I thought you said it doesn't bypass toughness.
No. Yeah, it does not bypass toughness, as in you can use your toughness.
Okay. So yeah, never mind. Then I'm still up.
You're still standing? Okay.
-14.
All right. So, in that case, let's go ahead and roll Braggading's critical wound. This is going to be bad. You're already at 3, so hopefully you roll low. Roll me a D100, please.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I rolled 100.
Rolled 100.
I'm going to use that as a fortune point.
Well, hold on.
This
No,
is
you
like,
can't,
so
yeah,
Jumbo
you
Smooth
can't
was
use
like,
fortune
I
on
don't know how
this.
he's doing this, but he was like, you're going to pay.
Oh shit.
You were so happy when you rolled that 1. You're going to pay. And oh my God.
Hold
I
on.
would like to use my remaining fortune point.
You don't need to use it on this. This is to determine location.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I need you to roll me one more. Now this is the one that actually
Okay.
determines the wound.
Oh, man. It's cockeyed. Give it a second. 37.
Okay, that's low. That's not. That could be worse. Okay, Braggadine. As the explosion rocks you, you fly about 15 feet towards Marius. And in the process of the explosion, your other leg, the one that was not damaged,
Oh my God.
one of the tendons in your kneecap tears, and you have another torn muscle.
Wow. Okay, so it's just torn muscle, or is this like a
It's a torn muscle, so it's the same effects as the other one. So now you're at a
on
minus.
the other leg?
Yep. So now you're at a quarter speed instead of just half speed. You're probably gonna have to have someone carry you until you can be treated. So as you just fall down, both of you also have a burning condition. So you are currently you technically have. Yep, you guys have 3 burning conditions. So you are on fire as you plummet backwards. You're still up, right, Seamus?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say it still throws you away. You still probably get launched probably a solid 10, 15 feet away. You are currently on fire, but you do not suffer a critical wound in the process. Braggadine, as soon as the explosion engulfs you, you go white. You have more critical wounds than your toughness bonus. Do you have more critical? What is your toughness bonus, real quick? Let's look at that.
It is 4. And
4? Okay, so you're right at 4.
2, 3, 4. Is a festering wound fatigue? That's
separate.
Is that a critical
that's
wound?
your disease. No, that's different.
Oh yeah, it's your Christmas Tristan. That's right.
Okay, so you're right at but unfortunately, you are going to be going unconscious because of your festering wound.
Okay.
So you immediately go unconscious. So you lose consciousness. You're laying there on fire, unable to put yourself out. Which brings us to... I'm going to be following kind of initiative order for this. So we're going to go Seamus. We're going to put you up first. As you're laying there. You are currently on fire. Let's go ahead and roll a D10, please. Actually, no. Is it a D10? Hold on. I think it might be less than that.
Is he still in Wraith form?
He is still in Wraith form. He has not hit 0 yet. Which is going to be bad for you. You better hope he does. Yep. Roll me a D10, please. Seamus.
All right. A 2.
Okay. So you suffer 4 wounds. You can negate it with your toughness bonus.
All right, so I have to take one.
Yeah, you
correct?
have to take one. So, are you still standing?
I am.
Okay. All right. You are free to do with the rest of your turn as you will. You are on fire. 3
I would like
fire
to
conditions.
I'd like to burn one of those fire conditions off, please.
Okay. Yep. Use a resolve. One of them's gone, so you have 2 left. You can make an athletics test. Since there is blood pooling all around you, I will give you advantage on this if you want to try to put yourself out. Unfortunately, you're still in your wraith form, so I need you to make a cool test before you do anything to see if your will is your own.
All right. Minus 20 on that, correct?
Currently, yeah, because of your conditions, yes.
34 out of 24.
You can, if you use a fortune point, you can make it a success. Do you want to?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make it a success.
Okay, so now you can take the turn as your will, as you kind of shake your head and have some of your senses back momentarily.
In that case, I would like to roll around on the ground.
Okay, I will give you a additional.
I feel the fire burning.
I mean, this would be easy, so I'll give you a plus 40, but you still have to roll for it to see how many you can take out.
Let's see. Oh, plus 40. Ooh, that's pretty good. So I rolled a 13, which I assume is going to end up being a plus 20 with my fatigue conditions.
Okay, well then you're still, so you, as you're rolling around, you manage to extinguish all of the flames.
Sweet.
All right. Would you like to do anything else?
No, I imagine my body is just, racked and
Yes,
quite
it is.
pain, so I'm
But
probably screaming a little
you
bit.
probably don't feel it as much in your current state. Matter of fact, you don't feel a whole lot, but you do have like a temporary, brief moment of clarity that only lasts until the end of your turn. So, if you want to do something now, you should probably do it.
Oof. Can I stand up?
You can stand up, yeah.
Like a knee.
You
All
can
right, I'll do
stand
that.
up. Anything else?
No.
All right. That is the end of Seamus's turn. And as your turn ends, the wraith form begins to overtake you once again. And your will is probably not your own. So that brings us to Marius Wolf. Marius, you see this explosion rock your 2 companions. Throws them backwards towards you. Bragadine lands to your left and Seamus to your right. They're about probably 10-15 apart from each other. You can see that Seamus is stirring and he rolls around and puts himself out. He is still has that ethereal kind of look about him that you've known him to have before. You know he's probably not in control of himself. And as he stands up, he glances at you, Marius, and you can see that there is no emotion on his face. It's just slack. Then on your left, you see Bragadine Bonneau, the man who cut you down. A broken man, currently.
It wasn't like that.
His legs are twisted in awkward angles.
Oh,
and he's laying on his back, unconscious, and on fire.
Anything?
He can't say, he's unconscious. He can say nothing. He's currently on fire, and this is going to be a pivotal moment for Marius Wolf.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know Seamus is out of control.
Yes.
But you know that if you do not help Bragadine now, he is going to die on the next turn.
Yep.
So the choice is yours, Marius.
Marius still, his arm still hurts from where Bragadine slashed it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sighs. Dumb bastards. And I'm just gonna run over to Bragadine.
Okay.
And try to try to roll his body around the blood,
All right.
get his fire off him.
With you helping him, and plus there's the blood everywhere, try to putting him out. I'm not going to have you make a check or whatnot.
Okay.
It can easily be done. You just kind of splash him around a little bit, and it goes out. You will notice, Marius, as you're the only one really cognizant of what's going on right now, that where the herald had detonated further up, the blood is boiling in that direction. It's like boiling hot. And it's beginning to spread. The bubbles are spreading in your direction and towards the doorway that you can see 10 feet past it. There's the shimmering doorway your way out. And currently there is this expansive boiling blood. And as this happens, it's about 15 feet from you currently. So you have got about 25 to 30 feet to the door. The boiling blood is currently just in the center of the tunnel. So you could get around it as of now. If you dilly-dally too long, you might not be able to get around it without having to cross through it. Also, as soon as this happens, you hear an echo reverberate down the tunnel from behind you. And as it does, the walls begin to shake and shimmer. Seamus has... He doesn't notice any of it. He's unflinching, just staring at you. But, Marius, you hear, "Skulls for my throne," echoing down the hall, reverberating. And the whole tunnel is beginning to shake. And that's the end of your turn, Marius, as you stand there and prepare yourself to meet certain doom. That brings us to Mr. Bonneau, who's unconscious. So that brings us to nothing.
Whoa.
Let's see here. I want to say you can actually use a resolve point. Well, it's because of your disease. Don't bother right now, because it's immediately going to go back to nothing. Unless you just really want to. You can use a resolve point to gain consciousness momentarily, but you will be prone and not able to do anything really extensive. It's up to you.
And Marius compassionately put out all my burning conditions.
I'm sure it wasn't very compassionately, but you weren't conscious to feel any of it. But he did, however, save your life.
Okay. All right. I'm going to hold on to that resolve point. I'll just be unconscious at this time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that brings us then to Seamus McCready. Seamus, you have a choice on your hands.
Ooh, do I?
You do. Seamus, you can attempt to fight the Wraith. It'll cost you an action. Or you can give into it and charge Marius Wolf.
Is this a dark deal?
This is not a dark deal yet. Hasn't gotten that dire yet. We'll see.
Well, fighting the Wraith is going to be tough with my minus 20.
It is.
So, you know what we're going to do. We're going to fight the closest thing to us.
Okay. That is the only living thing near that is in direct line of sight is Marius Wolf. Bragadine is laying at his feet. Not much of a threat, and he's barely hanging on by a thread. He's almost dead himself. So the closest, most vibrant living thing is Marius Wolf. Seamus, you charge towards him, the kind of ethereal cape that's kind of enveloped your torso billowing behind you. Go ahead and roll me an attack, and Marius, roll me some kind of defense.
All right. Round 3, bro. Let's
Unfortunately,
do it.
Marius, you're at a minus 10 for this.
Yeah.
Well, not only for your exhaustion, but also you're getting an additional minus 10 because he has a fast weapon and you do not.
Okay, so minus 20?
Yep, so you're at a minus 20 to defend yourself.
Okay. He's at minus 22 for attack, right?
He is.
Yep.
He currently is also. So you guys are on even footing.
I got a 16 out of 40.
Okay. How about Marius?
I've got a 21 out of 50.
Ooh. Hold on. Let's do the math. 16, 26, 36. So that's 2 for Seamus. And is that 3 levels for you, Marius?
It's super close to 3. It's technically 2 because I'm at 50. So,
Marius, you
it's a tie.
You could tip the scales, Marius. You could use a fortune point to give you 1 more level of success if you want.
But couldn't he?
He could do the same. Both of you could do it.
Are you going to use it? If you're going to use it, I mean, I don't know. All right. Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm using mine then.
Okay. So it's still a tie. You both clash. Man, let's see. How are we gonna roll this? You guys both are even on this. We'll just call it a wash on the first attack. Since you're both even. You both have the same success levels, and you both can minus some fortune points off there for me.
Ooh, exciting!
Yeah,
the sword and the pickaxe clash.
They clash, and Marius, you catch the sword, and Seamus is only holding it with one hand. And it's kind of surprising as it connects. You're holding your pickaxe with both hands, and you meet him on the haft, and he presses into you, and you're not used to this much strength behind Seamus. It's impressive, even, and you almost lock into place. And Marius, it is now going to be your turn.
I'm going to attack him.
Okay. With lethal force? Please say yes.
I am tempted. I am tempted. Paris is head up to here with these bozos. This is ridiculous.
Okay.
That is going to be a 15 out of 50.
Okay. Seamus?
Not as good. I got a 19 out of 40.
Okay, nope. So this time you connect, Marius. You clip him in his left arm. How much damage is that, Marius?
That's.
I'm just curious.
16.
Okay, yeah. Seamus. He clips you in your left arm. Roll me a D100, Seamus.
76.
Ooh, shit. Do you have any critical wounds right now?
Just the broken arm.
Yeah, so you have. Oh shit! And it is your left arm.
Oh, good.
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 Did you just chop it off?
Fuck it.
Let's see.
Rip it off.
Kill me now. Went after my weak arm.
Just make it a worse break.
So this is the thing. This is bad. Okay, so man. I need you to give me a endurance test, Seamus.
All right. That is going to be a 75 out of 47.
Oh no. Okay. All right. Damn it. Okay, so as he connects, Seamus, you feel your shoulder pop out of socket, and your entire arm jars. In addition to the broken, the broken piece, now your shoulder is completely out of socket, and you feel something tear. And I need you to roll me a D10 real quick.
All right. 4.
4. Okay, so for the next 4 days, you are going to be at a -10 for everything used with that shoulder, but it's broken, so that doesn't really matter currently.
Sweet.
However, I'm going to add 4 more days to your heal time, essentially, to your broken arm. So,
damn it. We're back up to where we were.
So you're right back, and as this happens, you hit 0. And as you do, the Wraith slips off of you, and you gain a point of exhaustion.
All right.
And you are currently prone and on the ground, clutching at your arm that hurts really, really bad now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is Mr. Galactic back in?
Oh, Mr. Galactic is right here.
He's right here. Good. We lost you there for a moment, but you're back. So, Bragadine, you're currently unconscious. Do you wish to stay so?
I'm just being carried by Marius right now.
Not yet. Possibly soon.
All right. Yeah. Let me.
We'll see.
All right. Do it. Is it just a resolve, or can I roll to try and get out of this? Just a resolve.
No, you have to use a resolve point. There's nothing to just come out of unconsciousness.
And because I'm down to 1 resilience point 2, I only have 1 resolve, right?
Yes. Oh, I forgot, Marius. Because you made that decision earlier, you gain another resilience point.
Ooh, yeah.
You get one back.
I'll take it.
Whoa.
Take it.
Okay, so I'm down to 0 resolve then?
Yes, you are current. If you did you just use it to come awake for a moment?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So you are currently unconscious, but you are going to slip back into consciousness soon, due to the due to the nature of your wounds. So you are free to take your actions as you will. You are prone, and since you don't have a wound currently, you cannot stand.
All right, so I'm awake and still flat on my back in the blood, right?
Yes. Yes.
with a nice
You can kind of sit up, but at the end of the round, if you have not recovered a wound, you will slip back into unconsciousness.
Marius, Seamus, what happened? I just remember we saw these fell beasts, and then it just got very hot and red in here, and I don't. What happened? I can't remember what's happened.
Is Marius and Seamus still engaged in
Seamus
in a
is
fight?
currently on the ground. He is no longer fighting.
Yeah, bro, he knocked me out.
You're not unconscious, but you are. The wraith is subsided.
Are we out of combat right now?
You're
Are
out
we
of combat at this point, but I will say
Okay.
actions will need to be taken quickly if you want to keep Bragadine awake.
I don't think I'm going to sit here and. I don't think I can. I think I've already bandaged him already today.
You've bandaged him once today.
Yeah. Is Seamus still awake?
Seamus is currently awake.
I like to punch him in his face.
Oh shit! I'm already
Okay.
at 0 health.
Shit! Wow.
I'm gonna punch his dumb face
Okay,
and
I will say this.
knock his ass out.
Yep,
You bastard.
I'm gonna say he's out. It's immediate, lights out.
Yeah.
Because
Before I do, I'm gonna be like, "Are you awake, Seamus?" And I'm gonna punch him in his face.
it's a vicious hook. Because you're pretty much defenseless at this point, Seamus. I'm sorry. And you just go down. You go down with just a sickening crunch. You are now unconscious.
I
All right.
sling him on my back.
Okay.
And hearing Beno say all that stuff, I kind of walk over to him. Do you want some next? And I grab his ass and I pick him up, and then I start making my way towards the door.
Okay, you're dragging both of these characters?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Got my pick slinged behind my back.
Yeah, you sling the pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're strong enough, but I'm still going to need a check to see
Okay.
how fast you're moving. So give me a strength check.
Okay. Is this at minus 20 or minus 10?
You're at minus 20 for your...
20.
or no. It's minus 10.
Minus 10. Okay.
Yeah.
That's 43 out of 50.
43 out of 50, so just a success. So I'm going to say you cover, you're right at the precipice of the doorway. You manage to skirt around, and you have to kind of make like an arc around the blood. You're keeping your eye on the boiling blood, and you're moving as quickly as you can, carrying 2 grown men, which is a feat in and of itself. But Marius Wolf is not a normal man, as we've seen.
Oh.
I am the size of a small child, too.
You're still a grown man, so I'm gonna probably give you.
Some areas I definitely am.
I'm probably gonna still at least give you at least $120, if not more. And then Seamus is a good sized dude, so he's carrying 2 men. But you skirt around the boiling blood and make it to the precipice of the doorway. It's at this point, Seamus, you're unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
But you hear a voice, Seamus, in your mind.
Yes.
Yes, you will do. Slay them. Kill them. Bring death to them all. Seamus, I need you to make me a cool test.
Oh, this is going to be like an automatic failure. Yep, that's a 49 out of 14.
Okay. Seamus, your eyes rocket open. And a full body convulsion begins racking him, Marius, as you're pushing your way through the doorway. As you press through, you feel the tingling sensation overcome you. There is a flash and a flare from the necklace or the pendant that Mother Inga gave you, Marius. Same thing for you, Seamus. Mm-hmm. However, Mr. Bonneau does not have a pendant.
Mm-hmm.
Bragadine, I need you to roll me a D100.
All right. I got a 59.
So you did hear me. Okay.
All right, cool.
All right. I will try to edit out what I can out of that. Let me make a note for myself here. Okay, then. All right. So, as you pass through, Marius, you feel a shudder on your right side as you're holding Seamus. And on your left, you feel the weight of Bragadine, and as you pass through the doorway, there's no weight in your left hand.
No, has he vanished?
You pass through, and it's weird. It's almost like your equilibrium is thrown off because you were carrying 2 sets of weight, and suddenly, instantaneously, one is no longer there. However, you do feel the shuddering, like racking body of Seamus as he begins thrashing as you are carrying him over your shoulder. And give me a real quick perception check, Marius.
All right. At minus 20, that is going to be a 35 out of 37.
Okay, good. So, Marius, as this happens, you have enough sense to glance around the room, and you are in the circular room, the entrance to the Old One's tunnels. Their domain, it has the pedestal towards the center. It is the one in Sealburg, as far as you can tell.
Whew.
There is something else a little amiss here, though, as there are 6 other creatures present.
Oh.
As you quickly glance about the room, not sure what happened to Bonneau and unsure what's going on with Seamus as you drop him to the floor, you see 6 rat men. There is a odd Skaven with kind of, it looks like cog-like gears and tubes coming from draped layers of cobbled metal and somewhat cured leather somewhat. Some of it might be slightly beginning to reek. And he is currently it looks like he's studiously studying the pedestal, and his back is to you. Further back towards the room, with that success, you see another figure. You see another rat man. However, he's in all black clothing that you recognize as one of the more stealthy individuals of the rat men. All you can see are his red beady eyes, and you can see part of his face, part of his snout. On his right side of his snout, he has a jagged scar, as if he took a vicious wound at some point in the past. And he locks eyes with you and gives a brief little from the back of the room. And then as soon as that happens, there are 4 more rat men in cobbled together leathers and pieces of cast-off armor and weapons, most of it rusted, that turn around as soon as you enter into the room. And they are definitely of clan rat caliber. And as soon as that happens, the engineer, the warlock engineer who's currently looking at the tablet, spins around and says something in Thagaraki and points towards you. I need you and Seamus to roll me initiative.
Oh boy.
Am I unconscious, or is there any way am I just helpless
You
here?
are currently gone. We will get to you momentarily.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Marius rolled a 10.
Okay. And Seamus?
Seamus rolled a 14.
A 14. Okay. So, Seamus, this is going to get interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Seamus, your body is racking itself. And a supreme calm overcomes you as you shoot to wakefulness. You currently have 1 wound, Seamus.
Okay.
You cannot feel any of the other ailments that you had previously. You don't feel them. That doesn't mean they don't exist. Mm-hmm. The wraith has overcome you once again. But this time, Marius, as you did pass your perception test, you can see that Seamus is even worse than he was before. Where before you could see the flesh of his face, even though there was kind of an ethereal glow. You can see that his skin is thin, and you can see the skeleton underneath. Almost as if his muscle and skin is becoming transparent. And in his eyes, where there should be eyeballs, you see this glowing green balefire. And he is definitely not himself. I need you to make me a cool test, Marius. And Seamus is now inducing terror. So I need you to have several success levels on this.
I rolled a 5 out of 45.
Okay, so you're actually good. Let me roll for the rats. Oh, this is bad. Okay, yeah, they are not doing so hot. At the sight of this ghastly creature that emerges from the tunnel, the clan rats that were beginning to move in your direction, Marius, we'll say this room isn't very large. They're only about 15 to 20 feet from you. And they begin scrambling towards you, Marius, until they see Seamus stand up and that ethereal glow wash over them. And you see all of them and skid to a halt and begin backpedaling away, terrified. You also see the engineer, Seamus, the ratman with the cogs and gears all over his person, also looks utterly horrified. And he begins running in the opposite direction. Looks like they're making for the tunnel entrance to get out of here. Not utilizing the hole in the roof. They're just making a mad dash. Just trying to get away from you. They're pretty damn fast. However, you notice the rat man towards the back does not move. He's locked eyes with Marius, almost like he's not even looking at you, Seamus. What would you like to do?
I assume I have to attack whatever I can see or is closest to me.
So this is where it gets interesting, Seamus. Very, very interesting. You have a choice, Seamus. Perhaps a dark deal of sorts. You see the fleeing ratmen. They'd make easy prey. There's also a live, very vibrant thing next to you, Seamus. If you choose to slay Marius Wolf, maybe some of that corruption leaves your body.
Mm-hmm.
The choice is yours.
You know, although with how things go, I'm probably going to end up flat on my back again. You know, I got this live sack of meat next to me that looks like it needs to be, you know, cut down.
Okay. All right. Make your attack roll, and I'm going to need Marius Wolf to defend himself another time from Seamus, the Wraith.
God damn it. All right.
All right. Same rules as before.
I hate you.
I hate you. Shit.
I got a 21 out of. Do I still suffer my exhaustion?
You still have you technically still have it, but you can't feel it. So yes, you still have
it. Then that's a 21 out of 30.
Okay. And Marius?
Now that I'm at +3.
I rolled a 30 out of 50.
That is a critical hit, Marius.
Yes, it is.
Jesus Christ.
I'm assuming you're not holding back this time, Marius?
Marius is quite put out.
Okay.
Marius has had a rough go of it. You know?
All right. That's fair.
I want to say this. I'm going to flip a coin. I'm going to flip a coin right now.
Okay.
Give me a sec.
All right.
Or flip a dice. All right. So Marius is going to use the pointy end of his pick this time.
Okay. All right. Roll me a D100. We'll see where it hits.
57.
All right. And one more.
44.
Okay. Not as bad as it could have been. Not as bad. Seamus, as you lunge in your wraith form, losing control, you can subtract a point of corruption from your well-being right now. But you are quickly left in the dirt as Marius deflects the blow. And as he does, he brings the point of the pick down on your right shoulder this time. Brings it down and it pierces your collarbone. Wrenches all the way through. It's not a break, but he tears something inside of it. And for the next 5 days, you're not going to be able to hold anything in your right arm. As you lose the grip.
He can't hold anything?
He can't hold anything in either arms. You lose grip on your sword.
Good.
And as it leaves your hand, Seamus, the wraith subsides. And as it does, it is mind-rackingly painful. You gain another point of exhaustion. And I'm going to need you to make me an endurance test real quick.
Is there a point where these exhaustion things I need to start worrying about?
Yes, there is. Let me make sure real quick. There is a point where it becomes not good. Let's see.
It's bypassed my strength so far.
Yeah, okay, so if you're past your strength, you can't walk.
Okay.
So you are no longer able to walk. I'm gonna have to look it up later. I'm gonna have to look it up in the book because my sheet here doesn't have it. So for now, you are currently unable to move.
I rolled a 62.
I'm assuming that's a fail. So
what was we said it was endurance? Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely a fail.
Yeah. So you also regain that point of corruption as
Damn it!
Whatever unholy,
Was it worth it, bro? Was it worth it?
Whatever unholy abilities you are calling upon rack you, and your natural resistances do not hold up. And you currently fall down onto the somewhat cobblestone floor with the intricate patterns carved into it, and you just face plant there, and you do not have the strength to rise currently. That is going to be the end of your turn. So that brings us to Marius Wolf. What would you like to do in this moment as you just defended yourself one last time from Seamus?
Is there only one Ratman still here?
They're currently fleeing. They're not through the doorway yet. They're kind of clogging right there. They're all fighting each other right now, trying to push through. But there is one that is not. It is the more sneaky-looking Ratman that has the interesting scar on the right side of his snout.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna try to. I'm just gonna look up at him with Jingies on in my hand, and I'm gonna shout out, "I've had a very long day. Let's get this over with." And I start running towards him.
Towards that particular Ratman? Okay.
Yeah, if he's the only one staring at me, then
he's locked eyes with you, and he kind of gives a snarl. And as he does, he says something in their chittering language. And you see several of the clan rats freeze up and turn around. The Wraith is no longer here, so the terror effect is no longer in place. And 3 of them are charging in your direction as well.
Ooh, joy.
So you meet them in the center. 3-on-1 right now, Marius Wolf. Go ahead and make your attack.
All right. That is going to be a 56 out of 60.
Okay. That is a solid hit. How much damage is it? Let's do that first.
It'd be 13.
You sure? You sure it's not higher than that?
Yeah, it's only 56 out of 60. So
yeah, but can't you use 6 levels of success?
I don't have 6 levels of success.
Yeah,
you're right. You're
because
right.
of the
56.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Then that would be a 18. Yeah, okay. 18 damage.
Yeah, let me make sure real quick. I'm pretty sure that's a one-hit kill. I'm almost positive, but I want to make sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's more than enough. So you cleave into the skull of the first Ratman that comes into contact with you, just right through the top. Boom! Marius, I need you to make me a cool test.
Okay. And that's a 30 out of 45.
Okay. All right. You barely hold it together as soon as the tip of the pick passes through the Ratman's skull, the runes along the side of it flare in your hand. It's almost blinding at first, and then you feel this sickening energy radiate down your arms. And as it does, Marius, you manage to keep yourself together momentarily as you see markings beginning to carve themselves into your arms in these odd designs in your exposed flesh. Your shirt is in tatters, and you can assume your chest and back is being covered with them as well. At this same moment, you feel hot, just this radiant heat emanating from you, and a fury almost overcomes you, but you manage to stifle it momentarily. But there's this horrible feeling racking your body. Marius, what is your weapon skill bonus? Real quick. Let me look at it. Just your weapon, straight weapon skill. 5. Holy
5.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Marius, as soon as you kill this Ratman, there is a trait that you have uncovered of your pick that you did not know of before. As the Drengizon drinks the black blood of the Skaven, you now have the death blow characteristic when fighting the foul Ratmen. You can make an attack up to your weapon skill bonus towards creatures as long as you kill them in one hit.
So what's that mean? I can.
So you just killed one. Mm-hmm. You can now make another attack towards another one in the same round. As you begin butchering them in mass in unholy speed and strength. If you kill the next one in one hit, you can make another one, and so on and so forth until you hit 5. They have to be all around you, though. You can't move after the attack.
Can't move. Okay. All right. Now roll again.
Go ahead.
That's going to be a 16 out of 70.
Okay, once again, you quickly pull the pick out of the dead Ratman's skull and then lash it across the next to your right, sliding through his throat and spilling his black blood across the stone floor. Go ahead and make your final attack against the next Ratman that is by you.
It's 77 out of 80. Close. But crit.
Okay. So, how would you like to slay the last Ratman?
I guess just like full batter swing, like in its lower abdomen. It's just a pick. Just kind of crack underneath the ribs, you know.
All right. You hook it underneath the ribs, and as you do, there's so much force behind the blow, you lift it up off the ground and fling it like a rag doll, and it splatters across one of the nearby walls of the circular room, and then begins sliding down. And as this happens within a fraction of time. Within a few seconds, you slay 3 Ratmen with unholy speed. If anybody could see you right now, for instance, if Seamus wasn't racked on the ground with pain and misery, they might be very, very impressed. And the assassin that is looking at you, his red beady eyes widen, and he begins scrambling up the wall towards the hole, towards the roof to escape you. As he does this, the last remaining clan rat sees you butcher his fellows and begins turning to run. But before he does, the engineer, who's now pushed his way through the tunnel after it has been clogged by the other clan rats, he's been fumbling in his pack this whole time, in this kind of big sack on his hip, and you see him pull a glass globe out. It looks really, really familiar for some reason. There's something very strangely familiar about it. And as he pulls it out, he fumbles it and drops it at his feet. And he continues to run as the glass shatters, but the clan rat behind him goes and squeaks as this green gas spills out of the globe. And you see the Ratmen instantly lock up, begin coughing, and fall dead within seconds. And the gas begins flooding into the room you're in.
Oh, joy.
That brings us to Seamus McCready.
Yeah.
You're currently, you're not technically unconscious yet. You can't use your arms, and you can't move under your own strength. Would you like to do anything?
Nope.
Okay, I just have to make sure. You can technically use like a resolve point if you have any to temporarily negate some of the effects of your critical wounds, but that's up to you.
Nope. We're okay. We're content.
Oh, we're okay. We're just a broken man. It's fine. You just kind of
Yes.
and you hear like a vicious cacophony of battle going on nearby, Seamus. You don't know what is happening, but something intense is happening. That brings us to Marius Wolf. What would you like to do?
I guess I'll ask you this. 'Cause
Yes.
I'm not sure how much I actually have left.
Yes.
How much clothes do I have on left?
You don't have much. Your shirt is shredded in tatters. You're almost shirtless. Your pants are also pretty well ruined, and you have been covered in copious amounts of blood, and now you're covered in ratman blood as well, which even smells foul, and it clings to your skin.
Do I have any kind of piece of clean cloth or something? I don't know if I do or not.
I'm probably going to say no.
Damn.
What is the intention?
I was gonna try to make a face mask.
Okay.
But I don't know.
All right. You can attempt.
if I don't have any like clean clothes, I don't know how effective it would be.
It's up to you. What would you like to use? There are scraps of the dead rat men in front of you, of the disgusting clothing they're wearing.
No thanks.
You can attempt to rip some of the grossly disgusting pieces of clothing you're wearing off and use that.
I'm gonna. Is the rat man up in the hole?
He's scaling the wall. He's not quite in the hole yet.
I'm gonna throw my axe at him. One of my hand axes.
One of your hand axes?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give me a ballistic skill.
Okay.
Now we'll say, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, that's a 22 out of 90.
Okay. I also got a critical on his dodge.
Oh.
So he has certain abilities that allow him to attempt dodges of certain types of weapons. So he has almost supernatural reflexes. He technically dodged with more success levels since they're both going to be a wash. And the axe, and you see it beelining it for the back of his throat as he's climbing. Looks like he's scared of what you are bringing, the death of the rat men. And he glances back just in time to narrowly duck aside, and he hangs by one claw that he digs into the wall and kind of lets loose the rest of his body as the axe tinks off of the stone. A large chip of rock gets busted away as the axe falls back down to the ground. And it's his turn next, so he's immediately going to scramble into the hole and out of sight.
Okay. Well, I'm going to grab my axe, and then grab Seamus. Is Braggedy here yet?
You glance around, but no, it's not here.
All right.
The gas
isn't coming in?
It's not spilling into the room anymore. There's about a 10 or 15 foot, almost. I'm gonna call it just like a dome, just for the sake of technicality, spilling out of the tunnel that you need to exit out of. And it looks thick, but it's starting to thin. You're not sure how long it's going to last, but it might be hazardous to your health to run through.
Yeah. Okay. Does it look like it's spreading anymore?
It doesn't look like it's spreading any further.
Okay, well, I'll grab Seamus and kind of drag him over further away from that point.
Okay, you get about as far as you can away.
And I would like to say, I drag Seamus. I don't pick him up. I grab him.
Unceremoniously drag him.
Just drag him.
Yes, you drag him, and he's just he can't really hold himself up. He's too weak at this point, and his head's just kind of bouncing off of the kind of carvings in the ground as you pass by over them. Probably a little whimper every now and then.
Seamus, you dumb bastard! We're gonna figure out that damn sword.
And I will say his sword is laying where you dropped him, next to the door, as you try to scurry away. It's still laying there.
Okay. I just prop him up. I'm not gonna touch the sword right now. I'm just gonna prop it up.
Okay.
Prop him up and against the wall.
All right. You prop him up. It's at this point, Marius. I'm gonna say enough time passes. It takes a few minutes. Technically it would be like several rounds for the gas to dissipate. And you think, I mean, you're pretty good in the mines. You've seen explosions and weird things happen. Sometimes you might hit weird gas pockets of things like that, and you feel confident that it's probably safe to move through at this point if you choose to.
Okay.
The choice is yours. What would you like to do?
I guess I will try to see if we can't get outside this tunnel. Maybe try to set up camp or something.
Okay.
But I guess I'll try to pick up this sword and give it to Seamus.
You're gonna collect Seamus' sword?
Yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be bad, but I just don't want to leave it here, you know?
Make me an intelligence check real quick.
Ooh, not good at that, especially with minus 20. Let's see. Ooh, that's a 6 out of, well, minus 20 would be 16.
Okay, all right. You've heard from your experience talking to Thordoom and some of the other of dwarves that you've actually spoken to in the Empire, that many of their weapons have unique properties that might make you resistant to certain invasions of the mind. And if you were holding them, you might be capable of resisting certain things. That's as much as I can give you.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll try to pick up then.
Okay. Are you holding on to your pick in the other hand?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That is what I need to know. So you grasp the handle of your pick in your right hand and you reach down to grab Seamus' sword. I'm assuming by the hilt. I'm assuming you're not going to grab the blade. And it's still finely crafted. It looks beautiful. It looks like it'd be a lot of fun to use. The last one you touched turned to ash, but it's neither here nor there.
Cool one.
It was pretty cool. It's gone. It's fine. You pick this up, and as soon as you touch it, you feel this icy cold starting to run down your hand. But at the same time, one of the runes on your pick kind of flares briefly, and the cold kind of is kept at bay for a time. Are you just going to return it to Seamus's sheath?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
I'll put it in a sheath for him.
Yeah, if you immediately do that, there's not going to be any test involved. You return it to his sheath, and Seamus is... You're conscious, so you see this whole thing, Seamus, from the wall. And what would you guys like to do now?
Come along, Seamus, and I throw him over my shoulder and try to get out of this damn tunnel.
Okay. Seamus, would you like to say anything to Marius while he's dragging you out of this tunnel?
Yeah, as it picks up and drags me, I was like, Marius, kill me now.
You wish, you piece of shit. And then I put this to keep on carrying him out.
Okay. You begin carrying him out of the tunnel. At this point, is Mr. Bonneau with us?
Yes.
Okay. Bragadine, you are technically unconscious, so you don't see or hear much. All you do is subconsciously you might feel the tingling sensation of the door to get out of the hellish tunnel that you've been inside of. As you pass through, Seamus, you feel nothing. And then suddenly you feel a sickening as your body hits the cold floor. And you jolt awake. You have one wound, but you are exhausted to the point where you cannot move.
Okay.
You're incapable of movement. You are in the circular room that you were taken through to get here in Sealburg. You see the pedestal. You also see up above you, there's a hole in the roof. It looks rather unnerving. It looks like there's been stuff disturbed around it. You try to lift yourself up as best you can, but you're so weak you can barely move, and your eyes are fluttering, closed to open. And you glance around, and you see nothing. It's so dark in here right now. You have no idea what's going on or who's around you.
Can I hear anything?
Go ahead and give me a perception test.
All right, beautiful. Oh, let me see. All right, do I have any negatives on this for perception with my ears?
You have 3 points of exhaustion, so you have a minus 30.
Ouch. All right, minus 30, so it would still be 50. I got 26 out of 50.
26 out of 50, okay. As you're trying to focus, since you know your eyes are almost useless at this point, you begin listening, hearing. You can hear the tip, tip, tip of probably drops of water in the distance. And you don't hear much of anything else. Bracketing. Not again.
I thought it was.
God damn it!
I thought it was a suspenseful, dramatic pause. You know.
It was not.
Okay.
It was not.
I had to check my own stuff. I thought I got kicked.
I know. Well, let's cut away from him right now as we leave him in the dark. Seamus and Marius, you make your way out of the tunnel the same way that you've come in a few times at this point. Easily done, easily enough. Are you trying to? I'm assuming you're just moving as best you can, Marius. You're not trying to be like stealthy or anything like that.
No, I'm not trying to be real stealthy.
You're just trying to go.
Get out of here, yeah.
You're moving forward as best you can, shuffling through. You get to the edge of the tunnel, to the open doorway, and it is in fact open. And stumble out into the morning air as it is daylight outside. And you glance around and you can see down the mountain. You can see Sealburg. It's there. There are cooking fires and probably the sounds and smells that you can't smell from here, but you're assuming are wafting from the town itself down below.
Mm.
Would you like to make your way down?
Well, I was trying to wait for Braggadine, at least if I could. Plus, we're also like...
Okay.
gravely wounded and stuff.
Yes.
So I was going to.
Do you want to attempt to camp here?
I do.
Okay.
I just didn't want to. Marius wouldn't just leave Raggedy.
Of course. So,
After he stabbed you in the back.
yes, I will say.
I mean, in his defense, he's only stabbed me twice.
That's true. Seamus has stabbed you many
Second
more
was
times.
self-defense. You attacked him.
Okay.
All
right.
You're making me
Okay, so you go ahead and give me an outdoor survival to see what you. I mean, because you have almost nothing left on you at this point.
Yeah. Ooh, nice. That's a 13 out of 31.
Okay, so you managed to cobble together the makings of a small camp out of things you found nearby. You're doing this right at the entrance. Are you doing it inside the tunnel, or are you going to be outside the tunnel?
Slightly outside the tunnel.
Okay.
If I can close the door, because I feel like I remember how to open it.
Yes. Yeah, you know the mechanism.
I will close the door. Yeah.
You close the door and you make a camp out there. It is during the day, so are you taking a short rest, or are you guys going to try to attempt to sleep during daylight?
I'll probably safer to sleep in the daylight.
Okay, it's early morning. It's early.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Seamus is useless right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's useless. So you don't have much of a choice into what's happening. Marius, if you're sleeping, that means no one is taking a watch right now.
Mm.
Are you going to do so?
I can't take a 4-hour watch at least.
You can, but you're not going to get a full rest in. Essentially, is what this is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you don't have it. Basically, it's going to be it's going to depend on a roll.
Okay.
This isn't going to be a perception test. This is going to be a endurance test, and it's going to be a very hard endurance test. So it's up to you.
All right. Gosh, if it's that the case, I will maybe just take a short rest. I just want to see if
So you go ahead and you kind of chill out for about an hour. So both of you can recover your toughness bonus and wounds.
All right.
Seamus you're starting to see a little bit of color return to Seamus, though he still is incapable of moving on his own right now. You can kind of shuffle around and things like that, Seamus, or twitch your body, but you can't. You don't have the strength to stand and probably defend yourself right now. So yes. What would you like to do now?
I like to open the door.
Okay. You open the door.
And I'm going to shout down there. Bruno! Are you there?
No reply.
I would then like to take a rock and kind of scribble in some words onto the stone.
Okay.
But it just going to say, but no, we will return, and then Marius.
Okay.
From Marius, and then I'm going to pick up Seamus and try to head back into town.
All right. Head back into town. You begin walking down the mountain trail, trying to maneuver your way. What you do, you maneuver easily enough down towards the forest. You reach the bottom of the mountain, no problem. It's daylight, broad daylight at that. And from what you could think of, the rats tend to stay away from prying eyes during the day, usually.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, with your wrathful display moments ago, they're probably quite terrified of you. So regardless, You make it down to the forest floor. It's at this point that you follow the path back to Sealberg. In doing so, you do come across the stream that you used to camp by, Marius.
I would like to, if you'll allow, to try to wash myself off.
Easily enough. You kind of get down. The water's nice and cool. It comes straight off the mountain. And you begin to clean yourself off as best you can. Are you going to do so for Seamus, or are you just going to leave him there?
Yeah, I'm going to throw him in there as well. I know he's scared of water. And
you just kind of toss him in the water, and he's terrified the entire time. He's just like, ah! And you toss him in. kind of. Now. And then just
No, exactly.
You like clean him up. Clean him up, and then chuck him back out onto the bank. And as you chuck him back out, Marius, you see an all too familiar doorway in the woods, as there are two trees that have grown together nearby, and you see the skulls on either side of them. Do you choose to enter the abode, the realm of Mother Inga, or do you press on towards Sealberg?
I say, Seamus, looks like we're being summoned again, Seamus. And I sling him over my back again and walk through the door.
Okay. You walk through, and it's just open air, but you know from experience that this is definitely more than just a series of trees intertwined. It is definitely some kind of portal. As you pass through, you see the hovel in the distance, and there are several mounds, 3 mounds around the hovel now that are of a pretty decent size. They're probably about 8 to 10 feet tall, and they just look like piles of rocks with like moss and things growing over them. But you see the hovel hasn't changed much. It's still decorated in the very bizarre, occultish decorum, and all of the scribblings and scrabblings in various languages on all kinds of knickknacks and baubles.
I don't still have the runes on my body, do I?
As you were washing yourself and glancing about, you would notice that there's very faint, and they're not runes. Not in the sense that you've known of. They're patterns of some kind, and they're very, very faint, but they're still there. Across your arms, your chest, your back, you're assuming your legs, and Seamus, you could see he even has a couple very dim ones across his cheeks and his neck. They're very faint, almost like a severely faded tattoo, but they do have a bluish kind of hue about them. And they are still very much there.
Alright. I was just asking to see if I noticed.
Oh yeah, you would have at least noticed the ones on yourself. You can't exactly see your face right now, but
Sure.
but yes. Well, you probably could in the stream. You might have been able to glance
stream,
you might have been able to get a reflection of yourself briefly. But regardless, you climb the steps to Mother Ingal's hovel. And I'm assuming you open the door, enter?
Yeah.
You enter inside.
I knock first,
You knock first? Okay, as soon as you knock, the door opens on its own accord. You don't see anyone immediately. You step inside.
Mother Inga.
There's no answer.
Then I step inside.
Okay. You step inside. As you step inside, the room is very, very dim, almost no light. It is the same way that you imagine it being as it was last time. You have the large kind of cauldron in the center right now, and there is kind of like some kind of table set up next to that, where things can be prepared and put in said cauldron. You also have the large rug, the blue lizard-like rug that encompasses most of the ground here in the hovel. There's shelvings and things on the walls, and there's various things dangling from the ceiling. It's just a decrepit, weird, bizarre hovel. There is no candlelight currently. As you step in a few steps, clutching Seamus over your shoulder, you hear the door and close behind you. And as soon as it does, the candlelight flickers around the hovel, illuminating it. And as it does, you see a form which was not there before step from behind the cauldron. Ah, I see you made it back, Wolf. And the decrepit, hunched form of Mother Inga is shown.
Oh, gee. Marius. Barely this time. Mother Inga.
All right. And you see her eyes, though they are cataract and empty, just white bulbs. You can almost feel them glance at Seamus and then back towards you. Aye, barely indeed. I see this one is much worse for wear.
He's had a rough go of it, haven't you, Seamus?
Fuck you.
He's a little cranky.
Feisty. Death will do that to a man. And she gives a bit of a wink towards you, Seamus. Well, what have you brought for the Mother Inga?
I've got another page, Mother Inga, and I lay down the book on the table.
Book. She glances at it and begins flipping pages. They're all blank, as far as you can tell. But you know that they're probably not blank. She's seen something.
Yeah.
Despite her blind eyes. She's flipping through a few pages. Good. Very, very good. And she glances towards the two of you. Do I remember? Shouldn't you have another?
Oh, yeah. How did you know?
I know
did meet a man.
Things.
You're right, Mother Inga. We met a young Bretonian, writer, in the strangest of all places, in one of those blasted tunnels that has all sorts of unspeakable horrors.
The realms of the old ones have grown thin, it appears. Yes. Well, do you have anything of this Bretonian's?
Not that I know of. I don't think I do, actually.
I don't think you
As a
do.
player.
Seamus, do you have anything that you can think of?
That I own of his?
Yep.
Hell
He
no.
could have had a nice bottle of Bretonian wine.
It's gone. That sucker's gone.
Oh yeah.
Threw that away.
So nothing. Well, perhaps fate will put him across your path once again. I see, and you see her bring out something, and you hear kind of a jingling sound, and she has a cup in her hand, and one of her crabby, disgusting, like elongated fingers are cupping the outside of it, and she's jingling something inside of it, and you hear a and she spills it across the table next to the cauldron, and you see bones, specifically teeth, clatter out, and she begins looking at them. Yes, I see. He is close. You will find him again. Do not worry. But I also see many other things, Mr. Wolf. I see great danger for us all. What has been set in motion must be completed.
does that mean, Mother guys? Hey.
She gives a chuckle, and then she glances over towards Seamus. You... Death. You carry something on you for the mother. And she points towards the massive, rotten head of Crom that's strapped to Seamus's back with the with the spine still attached to it. Give that to me.
Marius, give it a skull.
Okay, yeah. I pick up the skull from the...
Yes. I mean, it is large. It's big,
yeah.
you know.
The crippled Seamus.
Yeah, and Seamus is just kind of, you just kind of slump him on the floor at this point. He's just kind of sitting there. There's no chairs nearby. There's like nothing to sit him on, so you just kind of slump him on the floor.
Kill me.
You just gotta slump him on the floor, and you unceremoniously kind of like scoot him over, and he's like, "Oh, pardon me," and kind of he's laying on the ground. Peel the head off of his back, kind of sit him back up, and then you lift it. I mean, it's got weight to it, and you thud it onto the table. Ah, yes, very, very nice. A chosen nice smell. And she kind of, yes, I smell fury. I smell blood. Do you wish a boon, Marius?
Do I wish a boon? Marius is never one to say no to a boon.
Good. And she peels Crom's eyelids open. Remove the eyes.
All right, that's quite grim. And I reach my fingers in there and pull out his eyes.
Yes, it's disgusting. It's horrible. And you're tentative at first, and you pull out the first one. It's sickening. There's like coagulated, disgusting blood matted all over you. You see bits of gray matter still attached to the end of some kind of umbilicus from the eyeball. So you pull it out. And you do the same with the second one. A little more not as restrained as previously. And you pull them both free and just kind of dump them nearby by the mother. Ah, yes, eyes of corn. And she snatches them up quickly and dumps them in the pot. Go! And the young woman that also has the sightless eyes that you've seen before, the one that you left in Mother Inga's care long ago, steps out from seemingly nowhere. Yes, Mother. Bring it here. And she brings a few odds and ends. Looks like mostly some kind of plant roots and things of that sort. And she begins collecting them for Mother Inga, who begins stirring the pot and then dumps it into the pot as well. She then looks at you again, Marius. Now, we need bone. Remove the teeth. A few will do.
I'll take the end of like one of my hand axes. And just like smash out the teeth.
Okay, you smash out a couple teeth, and you'll notice as soon as you peel open his mouth, well, it's mostly kind of slack anyway, but most of his teeth are like serrated. They look like shark teeth. This is not a normal human being at this point. There's very horrendous signs of mutation racking this man's body, needless of just the size of what he was. But you knock out a couple of these kind of shark-like teeth and then hand them to Mother Inga, and she dumps them into the pot once again. Ah, good. The dead one can have the rest. And she just kind of pushes the head back towards you, Marius.
Okay. I kind of get situated back on Seamus again.
Kind of do the same awkward thing where you kind of slump him forward and kind of strap it to his back. and then sit him back up. Then you walk back over to the cauldron. Yes. You walk back over to the cauldron as it is being stirred. And this horrendous smell is coming from it.
Oh.
It's bad. It's terrible. You smell it as well, Seamus. And it does. It smells bad.
It smells like a wet Bretonian.
If only there was one to hear. And she, yes. And then she points towards something. The woman hands it to her, and it looks like a ladle, but it looks like it's made out of like bone, like someone's femur, or maybe a monster's femur, a beast's femur. Hopefully, not a person, but you never know. And she dips it down into the cauldron and pulls out a darkish liquid. She then takes a bowl, pours it into the bowl, and begins using a mortar and pestle, kind of, to pulp it into something thick. Yes, this will do. This is it. Marius, come.
I walk over there.
Give this to the dead one. Keep some for yourself. Perhaps give some to your new acquaintance when he makes his arrival.
Well, should he ingest it now, Mother Inga?
And the woman speaks up. You do not ingest that. It is a war paint.
Oh.
Daub it across your eyes when you have need of it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And you have and she lets you keep the bowl. It's a bowl of like this darkish, almost reddish paste. And that's what you have right now, yes.
Okay. Is there like a container I can put it in? I think I still have one glass container from my...
Yeah, I'll say that's fine. I will say you have at least one. You had multiple containers on your person when you made your original journey, so I'm going to say you have at least one that you can get enough of this in. You have enough for 3 uses per person if you choose to deal it out that way.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll let you guys decide that later.
Once I get back to town, I can divide it up.
You can divide it up as you see fit. But it is a paste. It is not to be drank. Or maybe you want to drink it. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
Time will come. Not too soon. The stars aren't quite right. Be ready. You'll be called again. We must not let the Dark Ones succeed. Be careful, Wolf. I see dark times in your future, darker than you have faced as yet. And that one, she points towards Seamus, he may be the key. He can bring great ruin or great salvation to us all.
Oh. Did you hear that, Seamus? Your savior. And I pick him up. Malinga. We must get back to town. I'm worried about these rats that live underneath, next to Sealberg.
The Underfolk. Okay.
They have some dealings with those hooded figures you have told us about, the ones that covet this book. I take the book and put it in my pouch.
Yes. The Skaven are not to be trusted. The Thakaraki are unclean. They have twisted minds. None should trust them. Only the fools, the worshippers of the dark gods, fall prey to their tricks too often, and not those of very wise nature. Be careful, Marius. Many things may not be what they seem.
Malinga, a while ago, I saw many a terrible demons and monsters peering into the place that you call home.
Mm-hmm.
What are you to these demons? Why do they want you so?
That's not that important, Marius. Just know that I am part of your fate. I will aid you as I can.
Why do you aid us, Malinga? You seem not invulnerable, but at least set apart from the rest of humanity in this space you call home. Why do you care what happens to the world of men?
You speak some truth, Wolf, though you know not what you speak of. I have my reasons. I have many reasons. You see a bit of a little glow, a little electric spark around her eyes as she says that last word.
Okay.
And they are my own. Now go. Be ready.
Malinga, I shall, but do you know when the Bretonian will return?
I know he will return. I don't know when. You will see him again.
Okay. Very well. Thank you, Mother Inga. We shall return to Sealberg.
Okay. And you set out of Mother Inga's hovel on your way back to Sealberg.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, I normally would cut over to Bragadine, but he is in dire straits still.
I think he's back. Is he back?
Are you back?
I've been back for a while.
He's back.
Yeah,
He's back.
Switched
Okay.
modes. Oh, I've been back for a while, bro.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Benoit, you did not hear anything. You do not see anything. Would you like to do anything else?
I will struggle to at least sit up. And man, I'm so. Can I try to stand up?
You make an attempt, and as you do, you're just too weak. You move to stand, and you feel that you have a fever at this point, and your eyes are growing very, very weary.
Help! Help! Help!
And it is weak. It is quite weak as you hear him calling out. Actually, no one hears you calling out. And then you hear a chittering. Yes, man thing. And then we're going to cut away from Bragadine again. Marius and Seamus, you make it all the way to town. You've cleaned yourself up at this point. You are approaching the main gate. You see that there are sentries posted. Everything looks as normal. I'm assuming you're entering?
Yeah, if no one's stopping us, the gates are open.
The gates are open.
I'm walking in with
You're walking in with Seamus over your shoulder, and as you're walking through, you hear, "Bloody hell, Marius!" And you glance up, and you see the chiseled elderly form of Old Man Otto as he's glancing down at the two of you. What have you done? What has happened?
Otto, it's a long story, my friend.
A long story. You've been gone a night.
Oh, it feels like it's been weeks.
What's happened to Seamus?
Yeah.
And he begins rushing down. You hear him rushing down the stairs on the opposite side of the wall as you pass through the doorway. And you see him come down to meet you. There's people milling about, walking about on their own business. The odd cart moving here and there. And you see there's more people on the road coming in behind you.
Mm-hmm. I guess we're gonna south out to the side. There's a temple of... Sorry, Dean question. There's a temple of Shalia here right now, isn't there?
There is a temple of Shalia that you would be familiar with.
I need to get him to the Sisters of Shalia. He's not doing too hot. We've had a rough couple days.
It's... Marius, I don't know what you're talking about. It's been literally a night.
It doesn't feel like it, my friend. All right, let's go. And
yes, of course. And he helps you pick Seamus up. Well, drag Seamus. Essentially, you both get an arm, and you begin carrying Seamus towards the Temple of Shalia.
Yeah.
His feet dangling awkwardly, as both of them are pretty messed up. Both his legs are messed up. And you begin moving towards the Temple of Shalia, or as you guys know it, the Temple of the Holy Sisters. You reach, it's not very far. Well, it's towards the center of town, which is a decent walk now, as the town has expanded since your first adventure. You were here a solid year before, though, so you're pretty well acquainted with where most things are, at least most things that are important to you. You find the temple, no problem. It's towards the center of town, almost in the the town center, literally, almost near the mine, where you can find the governor's mansion and many of the other important places in Sealburg. And the temple is of newer construction, from what you can tell. It is built in the style of the Sisters of Shalia. It almost looks like a convent, kind of. And you guys would all know that primarily the members of the priesthood of Shalia are all female. They're all women. And the matriarch of this particular coven is known as Selena Lexis. As you approach the gates, which they do have gates, and they do have a wall around this structure. It looks very well built as well. It's made of stone. The structure itself and the wall. It does have, in fact, like bars and everything. So this is almost also doubles as a sanitarium of sorts that you guys would know of. It's not just a hospital of a kind. And as soon as the gates open, they see the dire straits that both Marius and Seamus look in. Marius a little better off, but still not looking good. And then dragging Seamus. Seamus looks really bad. And the matriarch herself is currently tending to someone in the courtyard area, which then leads you to the main temple doors. And as she locks eyes with the two of you, she sees, Otto, what has happened? And you see an older woman wearing the kind of white robes of a lady of Shalia. They're very plain. She does have a necklace dangling about her neck, as long as many of the other sisters do as well. Though she also has a further sign of her station, as she has almost like one of those, like those little nun hat things. I don't know what they're called. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about. A little nun piece, whatever.
It's called a habit.
Oh, yeah.
Is it a habit? Yeah. There we go, a habit. Hers is a different color. It's like more of a grayish color. And that's how you can kind of denote, or it's actually be more of a bluish color, I think. Yeah, bluish. And it kind of denotes her as being separate from the rest of them. She's the head of this section. So she moves up to Otto. And she's definitely an older lady, but still very attractive, despite her being a woman of the cloth, as some might say.
Oh.
You haven't seen her. You can't see her hair. It's tucked away, but she has blue eyes, and you can tell that in her youth, she definitely would have been a looker. She's probably in her late 40s, maybe even close to 50, but she still looks well-fed and a decent-looking woman for her age.
All right.
And she approaches herself, and she motions over to a few of the other acolytes, some of the younger sisters. They all come swarming the three of you. And if you don't protest, they're going to bring you inside and begin tending to your injuries.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Okay. Seamus, do you protest?
No.
Okay. All right.
This looks like heaven.
All right. I would say it probably does a little bit. You're dragged inside, and I will say, for the sake of brevity, enough time is going to pass that you guys can be fully healed of everything.
Ooh, nice. That's
For
a long
Seamus,
time.
that's a long time.
I was about to say that's
It's over a month.
I don't know what's going on.
You could
man.
spend plenty of time here. Within a few days, Marius, you are fully recovered from all of your injuries and everything.
Okay.
You aren't locked up here like Seamus is. Like Seamus is almost being kept against his will at this point. If he tries to leave, he's so hurt that they're not going to let him leave.
Yeah.
Marius, you can get up and leave as you will. It's just going to be a couple of days in and out treatment, essentially.
I'll come back every once in a while, smuggling a beer.
Yeah,
Hell
exactly.
yeah.
Smuggling a beer for Seamus during his time, healing his mended wounds. And I will say they set all of your bones straight, Seamus, luckily for you. They're very well experienced healers. I have rolled for them, and you did well.
Nice.
And they managed to get you definitely on the up and up. Bragadine, you are unfortunately hanging still in limbo. But
It's nice here. It's quiet.
it's nice and quiet. Indeed it is. And that's where we're going to take our first break, guys.